Meeting to order, Lordsburg Municipal Schools regular school board meeting, May 15th, 2023, 6 p.m. Please rise, please. Stand up, I'm sorry. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I
Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico as the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you again. Welcome, everyone. Just a reminder again, like I always do, remind everybody only the items of this agenda will be discussed tonight. And again, welcome. Here we go. First item is approval of the agenda. If there's any questions or statements about this, if not, I'll entertain a motion to accept to approve the agenda as written.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Esquivel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Samuels. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For the record, Mr. Plummer is not going to be here, right? Right. Next item, approval of minutes, regular meeting of April 17th, 2023. If there's any questions or comments on the changes on the meeting minutes for April 17th. Talk about it right now. If not, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for April 27th as written.
Motion by Ms. Cole. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Esquivel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 4, action item, consideration and approval of resolution proposing capital improvements, tax ballot question, and other matters relating thereto. Dr. Lucas.
Yes, this is, we've been discussing it the last couple of board meetings on the SB 9 election
Yes.
in November. So the resolution is there. And we also have Patricia from Cuddy Law Firm online. So Patricia, do you have anything you'd like to?
To add, well, first of all, good evening, Mr. President, board members, and Superintendent Lucas. I'm here actually to answer any questions you might have regarding this election. I think I should probably just start by saying that you're probably thinking, didn't we just have one of these? And actually, you haven't had one of these capital improvement elections. And these are the SB 9 elections, which are used a lot for maintenance of the schools. The last one you had was in 2019. And at that time, you asked the voters to approve a 2 mil tax, which is $2 on every $1,000 of value of property. And you asked them to approve it for the 6-year maximum period, which is allowed under the law. And I'm looking at the document. It was for the years 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And of course, the voters did approve that. So now what you've got before you is the question of whether or not you want to ask the voters to approve the taxes, the same tax. It would just be a continuation, same rate. Nothing would change in that manner. But it would start with 2025, and it would go all the way to, let's see, 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29 to 2030. And part of the reason that we are suggesting or that you should consider doing this is because, as you know, the laws changed a few years ago so that now these elections are held in November along with the regular local elections. We don't do these in February anymore, and they're not just for the school district anymore. So the regular local elections are held in odd numbered years every other year. So we'll have one this year in 2023. The next one won't be until 2025. So if you don't go out this year, and you wanted for this capital improvements tax to continue, you would have to, if you wanted to do it in the regular local election, you would have to wait until November of 2025. But we have been told that if you wait until November of a given tax year, it's too late to assess it for that tax year. So the earliest you would be able to start that tax would be in 2026. Now, the other option you would have, in order not to miss out on those tax monies for 2025, would be to have a special election in 2024. And the problem, if you will, with the special election is that it's a mail-in ballot only election. People don't go to the polls, and the school district has to pay all of the costs of that election. So what a number of school districts have decided to do, the ones that are in your same situation, whose SB 9 taxes are going to end in 2024, they have decided to put that question to the voters at the November 2023 regular election, in the hopes that the electors will in fact pass that. And if they don't, then they feel like they have a shot in 2024 of having a special election, or in early 2025, because you can have one in early 2025 too. And that's what we would suggest if for some reason you don't go out in 2023 in the regular election, or you decide you don't want to go out in 2024. But it would be really important to have that special election in early 2025 if you didn't want to go out in 2024. That's it in a nutshell. I don't know how much the school district receives in SB 9 monies each year, but I can tell you that for almost every school district I know, it is a significant amount, and it is a critical amount for the school districts, because as I said, you generally rely on it for maintenance, for a number of other things like purchasing extracurricular buses for students, things like that. And it's important to have those monies, because if you don't have those tax monies, then you're going to have to use your own operational funds. And we all know you'd much rather be spending those operational funds on salaries and things that the school needs, that that's what the operational monies are for. You don't want to have to be spending on them on something like what the SB 9 taxes would be paying for. So that's it in a nutshell. And I know that's a lot of information and it's a little confusing. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have that I'm able to.
Any questions from the board?
No.
Who wants to do
Okay, yes.
it? Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, no questions.
No questions.
Wow, I wish more boards were like yours. Sheesh, make my life easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
again
you.
for your time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And you've got all the documents. Do you want me to go ahead and sign off now? You want me to stick around?
It's your prayer. You're welcome to stay for the meeting, but this was all we had you scheduled for.
This is all, what was it an action item though?
Yes, it is. We're
Yes.
fixing to do an action. We put this as an action item. We moved it up front.
That's what I
just
thought.
because I didn't know your time constraints or.
And no problem, but I think you probably don't need me. I think you, again, clearly understand this. But if anything comes up, you know how to get a hold of me, I hope.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Terrific. Thank you all. Have a great evening and let me know if there's anything else I can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Good night.
Good night. Is there a motion to accept and approve this resolution proposing the capital improvements, the tax board ballot action? Question.
I so move to approve the resolution proposing capital improvements tax ballot question for this year, so it can be on the November ballot.
Motion by Ms. Cole. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Samuels. I will poll the board for your vote. Ms. Samuels,
I
Ms. Esquivel,
don't know if I could vote on this. Can I vote on this even though it's,
Yeah, no, you.
okay, because I'm the county clerk and I. deal
Yeah,
with
no, you can
this.
still vote.
Okay, yes, but I asked if you can give me a Spanish version
as well
Yes.
for the ballot.
Right, we'll have it both English and Spanish.
Aye.
Yes.
Ms. Cole?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carries. Number 5, board education issues, Dr. Lucas.
So the first one up is the school law conference, June 1 through 3. And there's a tentative agenda. Starts Thursday. I don't know if any of you need to do the new board member training, but other than that, it really starts Friday and then finishes up Saturday.
I'm the one who needs to be there for the board of directors.
Yeah. So we do have the reservations from,
Right,
Yeah.
Thursday, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and so just, if you can, in the next couple of days, I've got yours, you're gonna go late Thursday. Okay, and you're gonna go, you think you'll be going?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
Susan?
wanted to, no, probably not, but
Okay,
I wanted to see when do I need to get my, being that I just started, when do I need to get my numbers submitted?
well, I think you would have a year, I mean, it won't be for this year.
Did you
Just
get
wanted to make
a,
sure I wasn't-
did you get a number of, physical, like what the time period is for us to get our credits in? Did you get?
Yeah, it's
an
supposed to be
answer, Joe?
this, I haven't got an answer, but it is supposed to be,
Like during this
the
year
school
or
year.
early
He
May?
was supposed to
yes.
send it to us.
Oh,
but he
okay.
hadn't sent me
But-
nothing yet.
So, no, it's not the school year, yeah, I think it's the school year, you know, in June 31st,
Okay,
just like should be in concert with that.
okay.
So you have it till June. And I know the REC is trying to get some.
Yeah. That's because I know that we have the district
Yes,
meeting
yeah.
in them in September
Now, see, that would count for next year.
for next year. Okay, that's what.
But I know the REC is trying to get some, maybe some summer board training that you could attend for.
Right.
But they haven't gotten it approved yet. They're working on it. And then next we have the presentation of excellence in student achievement awards.
Go ahead, sir.
So y'all want to get up front and present? I mean, it's y'all's award to the.
Okay, now let's see.
We're in the-
So first up, this one says Excellence in Student Achievement Award presented by the New Mexico School Boards Association in cooperation with the local Board of Education in recognition of the outstanding role played in improving student achievement of 2023. The first recipient is Rosalia Gomez.
Smile. Smile.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
I'll take over.
So again, they all say the same thing. So the next one will go to Scott Robertson.
Oh. Get your picture glasses out.
There's no lenses, no reflection. That's a smart idea.
Next is Laquel.
Let me search it out.
Okay, this is where we like to bring home to change.
Yes,
Sorry, what happened to your dress?
I went home to change, I'm like Cinderella.
Oh, Miss G, beautiful as ever. Come on.
It's like, hey, I look better, yeah.
Last but not least, Dr. Lucas from Lush.
Thank you very much. That's good.
I know, I was gonna say, we should wait.
Okay, thank you for all the hard work, guys. Item 6, reports, Dr. Lucas.
Yes, we'll start off, any questions on operations report? No?
No, I'm just glad we got a new stage for graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the vapor detector, does it work? What's that?
The vape detector?
Yeah. No detections yet. No detections, okay.
So we need to try it out. Yeah.
It's not very.
Some of the vapes I confiscated, I'll lose those.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, next up are the building reports. We'll start with Raquel.
Surprise, surprise. Good evening. We're just looking at the end of the school year and trying to finish everything up, really. We had started maths testing last week just to see where they are in language, reading and math. And we did tell students that we were gonna for summer school, that there was gonna be like a cutoff score. And that score was like 2 grade levels below where they're at. So in 8th grade, it would be like a 6th grade cutoff score. And that's just because if they're lacking that many skills, we need to do something to try and remedy that. And summer school is going to be like foundations. And just looking, just overall, there were maybe 10 or 12 students in language and math who met that. So we saw like a lot of growth, and that's just like a quick visual, not for sure data, just like a quick visual. With reading, we still have to finish it because we were taking the test on Thursday and a lot of kids did not do it, so we still need to finish that. So that's just something just to, whenever we test, we want to make sure that students are giving their best effort, because if they're not giving their best effort, then we really don't know what they need. And we can't really help them as well if they don't give their best effort. And so that's really what we want to do there. May 19th on this Friday, we'll be having our in-service. We're just gonna be really planning for next year already, looking to see what worked, what didn't, and just also reviewing like different student needs, just that we can be prepared on that day one instead of waiting a couple of weeks to try and get everything in place, just starting to already have that. The DWI program ended. They had their celebration on May the 8th. Also on May the 8th, the Boys Council and Girls Circle ended. The students didn't know, and actually we didn't know, but all the students who did participate in that received a $25 gift card that they could use just for participating in. And so they were really excited about that. Then just some other things, the Alps, we want to thank the Alps because they did donate shoes to the majority of our kids. Our kids got to go in there and select some tennis shoes if they wanted to. If they didn't want to, that was fine as well. But just, just helping out and helping for those needs. Mrs. Culberson's play was awesome, and our kids were able to see it, and their behavior was pretty good. I thought that it's also important for our kids to attend productions like that, because not all of them are gonna be able to go out into the world and see those kind of plays and have that experience. And so it was really good, and Austin did really, really well. As the dentist there. But they enjoyed it, they really enjoyed the whole play. We'll have Doggy Day on this Thursday. You all are invited to go. As a matter of fact, I put there for lunch, but if you guys want to go at any time and see what happens on Doggy Day, you're welcome to go. We still have Career Day. That's gonna be on Monday. The award ceremony is for 5th grade through 7th grade is on Wednesday at 10 in the morning. And the 8th grade promotion is on Thursday at 9 in the morning. And so you guys also are welcome to attend either of those. I'm in the process of getting a committee together to review discipline. Just, there's some things of the discipline policy has been in place for, I don't know how long, it's the same one. But just in reviewing that, because like one of the things with like, the bullying, the state statute and the policy that we have in the board policy doesn't necessarily match up with the discipline matrix that we have right now. That one is, it starts off, it's progressive discipline, but it starts off with really trying to teach the students more positive ways before going to like suspension and expulsion. So just having that teaching component in there. So that's something that we need to work on. We also need to work on, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it is right now. Something else of the discipline that needs to be like more progressive, and start with like the teaching of stuff and all of this before we getting to that point. So that's something that we'll be working on.
Any questions, comments from Ms. Montiel? If not, we'll move right along. Thank you, Mr. Montiel.
Thank you.
Suleiman?
Okay, my turn. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, for our school, we're just like moving ahead and learning from the past. Every time we have an event or anything, we quickly mark down what we could do better, because we could always improve. So our school actions is just celebrating successes, what we went well this year, and changing towards improvement, what we could do to change further. For student progress and monitor, of course, we're doing the end of the year MAPS testing as well. And we're working on our, not really working, but we're updating our RBT discipline matrix. We do have 3 sections. One is teacher reteaches, second one reteach, maybe with a conversation with parents, and then the third one goes to the office referral. So ours is pretty well laid out, but it's a living document and it has to change, so we have to update it every so often as well. So end of the year events, pretty much all classrooms are having their end of the year more personal instead of awards where you go and you're the kids. So we wanted to make it more personal. Kinder's doing their little thing, and then third we'll be having like a water day, and 4th grade and we'll be celebrating, and then the circle's gonna do a little water day next week after the kids finish cleaning up the classrooms and stuff like that. So, and then as far as the art gala was going on right now, I had to leave. So that went very well as well, but for teacher professional learning, I mean, we're having meetings this whole week after school, and it's open to anybody at RBT, anybody that's affiliated with us, you're welcome to come. Because how we can improve or do things for next year, and we've had a lot of staff want a lot more social emotional trauma training, and I keep telling them, every time I go to any training, I always ask, do you have any social emotional, any trauma? Because we're faced with a lot of children that have just a lot of trauma or social emotional skills deficits, and so we need to address that in order to move academically. And I told them at the state level, but of course, that's just my little opinion. The state level is putting a lot of money into literacy, but we really need to help students self-regulate before they can learn stuff. So that was another thing. And then again, the district in service, we're gonna use it. We're all set to go. Everybody wants to know where they're gonna go next year, and so we're just planning all that out and just prepping for next year. Any questions?
Questions, comments?
This is for Dr. Lucas.
Mhm.
So the matrix policy committee, are we gonna have a special meeting in June or July?
We'll not
To
really
figure
have
out
a
this
special, it'll be, each campus will come up with a policy and then we'll bring it to the board for approval. They're getting parent members and stuff like that. on the
And
committee.
we can't put our input, like what members can we put in there, or how is it gonna be done?
Well, that'll be up to each principal, how they want to do it on the campus. I mean, it's mainly consists of parents and then the board approves it. It's not necessarily the board as part of the committee. It's the board would go over and approve it.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick comment on the May 19th district in service. If you all can let your staff know, there is gonna be a teacher appreciation staff luncheon that day at the high school from 11, starting at 11.
Okay. For that.
Any other comments, statements, questions? If not, go ahead.
Evening, members of the board. Morelos, and Superintendent Dr. Lucas. Yeah, again, we had our Cinco de Mayo festival last week. It was nice. Everybody came over. It went real well. Our eighth graders came and visited our campus. This was last week. And talked to Mrs. Stewart, we just kind of gave a tour, just kind of talked about things coming up to the high school. They were kind of nervous about getting around in high school, so they're actually there, and it's not so bad. It's all in the same building. So that went real well. Seniors will be visiting RBT May 23rd at 10 a.m. So next week, they'll go there in the morning, they'll go there with the robes and things on. So thank you everybody for helping us out there. Just want to thank all the teachers for supporting me this year and, just putting up with me and, we got through the year and thank goodness they helped me out. And then we also had the theater performances last weekend, the Little Shop of Horrors, and like I say, it went well on Thursday. We had a good turnout throughout the day where the other schools came in, and then Thursday night, Friday night, they had a performance. So it went real well. Our kids are real talented, so they did a really good job there. And of course, we have our prom this Saturday, May 20th, and then athletic awards Monday, and academic awards Tuesday, and then free day Wednesday, and then roving Thursday, and then graduation Friday, 26th. So we'll be busy here the next couple of weeks. Our seniors are finals this week, and then next week, the night of the we'll have the finals. And then, same thing with everybody else with the matrices and the handbooks. We've got teams to address different aspects of the handbook. And trying to get a jump on that for the upcoming school year. And again, just want to thank the cafeteria again for especially Fausto, Tacho, and Patricia Chavez, because they're at high school. They've just done everything for us all year long with all the activities, the sporting events, activities that we had even before. Whenever we asked them to do something, they did it. So we appreciate them so much. And then also want to thank the DWI, it's Daniel Graves and Miss Science, who's from here. They provided our, for the prom, they provided the partition that they have for the teammates and let us come and get them this last Friday. They had some issues us down before, so we thank them for that. And that's it.
Any questions, comments? Everybody's ready to graduate, mostly all the seniors. Sounds good to me.
Some of them got a few signs turned in, but we're good.
Go ahead.
We're done, but we got Monday, 6 o'clock. Hope to see you guys there. Awards. And that's all sports for all our athletics on Monday. Softball finished up They won their first game, got to the double elimination rounds, and they lost to the next two, but they lost to Levy, who won it all by a bunch. Very fortunate. So I was really proud of our girls. They played well. Our track team, really proud of our track team, and they are 4x1 won. There's just certain races that are just big. I don't know, 4x1, 4x4, they're just the big races. And for us to win the 4x1 it's pretty cool. As guys, I don't know if you ever got to be at the state track meet, but the environment is pretty insane. And I was really proud of the boys to win that. And everyone, I put it all in there. If you guys didn't get the newspaper, that was what was in the newspaper too. For the track right there, that was what DJ got, and there's quite a bit of information there on all the performers and on our track team. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I don't know. We're done. We're sports. We're started the off season already. Football's already started. Got a lot of kids showing up out there and ready for summer ball. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not ashamed, I can tell you that much, but I thought I was gonna pass out today. It's a little hot, but the kids they're excited. They're excited for next season. So we'll see what happens. And of course, right now, everything on your mind right now is grades. Obviously. So grades, more grades and more grades. Any questions?
Questions, comments?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And then on the truancy report, we had 97 total reports. This will be the last one for the year. We'll start up again probably in September. But 97 different parent contacts. Any questions on that?
Any questions, comments? No? Public forum, anything on public forum, Dr. Lucas?
Yes, I do have a letter from a parent, Pamela Johnson. So I will read it. It says, "Dear school board members, for the 22-23 school calendar year, I have been increasingly concerned with how certain situations are handled at Dugan-Tarongo Central School. There's a very specific incident where a student in my daughter's 5th grade classroom left several of the children traumatized. The student was antagonizing and bullying another student, calling her racially derogatory terms and stating that it was okay to do so because they are related. My daughter attempted to stand up to him and defend her fellow student and friend, eventually getting Ms. Garza involved. I'm sure you're all aware of this incident, but what you are not aware is that backlash received by other students after the incident was allegedly dealt with. In the screenshot below, I redacted some due to the graphic content, is a text message sent to my daughter by this incident. At this time, my daughter had recently gone through a traumatic experience of her own, and the comment about harming herself did not help her mental state in any way. The student she was defending was also scared that this other student would attempt to harm her, as he is much larger and their spirit here would be retaliate. And then there's the picture that you have of the screenshot. I arranged a meeting with Mrs. Montiel to discuss this text and the student's behavior. My daughter has had instances of him bullying her and other fellow classmates dating back to elementary school. When she was enrolled at RV Trailer, we had a meeting with Dr. Lucas, who was the principal at the time. We were told he would instruct the teachers to be more observant. That was the only resolution offered. Clearly, the student has not learned to respect others. During my meeting with Mrs. Montiel, I showed her this screenshot. I was told because it did not happen on school grounds or in a school issued device, there was nothing she could do and that my daughter needed to report further situations to the office. I told her that my daughter and other students are clearly scared to report incidents for fear of retaliation. This student has not ever been held accountable for his action, and his bad behavior just continues. I was told to file a police report, and to date I've struggled with whether I should pursue this or not. Why would I file a police report against a 5th grade child? Drastic measures were offered as a resolution. It seems that Ms. Montiel would rather sweep this under the rug and let everything fall on the parents of other students to decide what to do. Recent discussions with other parents who currently have children enrolled at BTMS Central has made me realize that my husband and I are not the only parents who are concerned. I'm asking that disciplinary measures be reviewed and Ms. Montiel's actions and responses to incidents be scrutinized. I know I'm not the only parent who feels this child should have been suspended and his actions outside of school tell me this child's needs an intervention. My biggest fear is that this student or any other student eliciting dangerous behaviors will escalate to even more dangerous situations. If things are not handled now and properly, what's to stop the next incident from being the worst case scenario? I know the board encourages community engagement and tries to be open with parents. I request that a copy of my letter and the board response be read aloud and included in the minutes of your next meeting. Thank you for taking time to read this. Sincerely, Pamela Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. At this point, we cannot respond to this letter. It's a public forum. So just keep that in mind. Thank you. Item number 8, consent agenda, approval of accounts payable payroll liability transactions. Is there any questions, comments on these? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable payroll liability as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable.
Motion by Mrs. Esquivel. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Ms. Cole. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Approval of budget adjustment request, Dr. Lucas.
So we have a lot of bars. There's 24 bars and a blanket, yeah. So
Why so bad?
we'll go through. The first one is just a maintenance bar or a transfer bar. What is it doing? So it's a zero net document to us. I mean, it's just a transfer bar. Okay, we do have an increased bar of $985,924, and that is in capital outlay. For the Go Bond building, we had our, for our bond, we got the funds from that. That's what this is, correct?
Yeah, so this one's actually more so truing up from last year by June 30th due to the audit. Normally I put all the carryovers and all the final numbers for the audit, but we've been pretty busy with our bond funds, so couldn't really wait any longer, and I just pulled our statements all together, and this is truing up from the beginning of the year, just so that our bond funds are reporting accurately, and yeah, that's essentially what this is for.
Okay, and the next one's a carryover for $3,541. And what is it from?
This is the Title I carryover from last fiscal year. Yeah.
And the next one is a maintenance bar, just a transfer bar, just trimming things up to balance our accounts. The next one is the same for support services. It's just a transfer bar, maintenance bar. The next bar is another maintenance bar, as is the next one. It's all, again, all these maintenance bars and everything are just truing up accounts to where they need to be. The next one is also another transfer bar. And as the next, I think the rest of them are transfer bars, but we'll make sure. The next one is a transfer bar as well. And several programs. Another transfer bar. Another transfer bar. Another transfer bar. And another transfer bar. Another transfer bar. Okay, I'm getting to the end. Another transfer bar. Another transfer bar. Transfer bar. Another transfer maintenance bar. Another. And the remaining two are maintenance bars. Yeah. So all the bars except for the two that were discussed are maintenance bars, just transfer bars. So we could get a motion on that, and then we'll come back separately, I think, for the blanket bar approval. We'll talk about it. So just for the bars 1 through 24, but a motion for that.
Okay, I'll accept the motion or entertain a motion for bars 1 through 24 as written.
Motion to accept the bars 1 through 24 as written.
Motion by Ms. Cole. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Salmon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then we need a motion for the,
Right, so for the blanket bar, we did it last year, just so we can get everything true, without having to call the meeting.
Right.
To get everything, and then we'll bring everything that we did to you.
I'll entertain a motion for the
Blanket bar, yeah.
bar.
I'll make that motion to accept.
Motion by Ms. Esquivel, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cole, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 9, discussion items. Dr. Lucas?
So first on the list is the bond projects. And there are several things that were in our facilities update, and we have several items here that we could use the bond money for. We just kind of need to know what you would like to see the money spent on. You know, there's approximate budgets, how much it would cost to do each one of those things. We have about $1 million left of the bond money. And it's just kind of, you know, what y'all want.
Any comments? Go ahead.
I like the way you have number 1 is the roof restoration and then the additional school security. My personal thoughts are that the shade structures, the concrete, the asphalt, the outdoor classroom and the district vehicles should be moved up.
Right.
And the field and the auditorium should be moved down, because my reasoning is that these other ones incorporate all
Right.
students.
Right.
And it doesn't just direct a certain area.
Right. And
Not
then-
saying that those aren't
Right, and we
gonna
don't
be
really
needed,
have the,
but I would love to see that everyone benefits from it,
Right.
and not just a select.
and we
few.
don't really have the funds to cover the softball and all. We'd be really close on the softball, but I mean, that would take all of our bond money and then some out of operating.
Yeah, but this would benefit all
Everybody
schools, all
else, right.
students, and it would.
And then we'll still, even if we do everything but the softball and auditorium, we'll still probably have some left over. And then we'll come back, we'll see what the needs are, and we'll still have a little bit left over anyway.
Those are just my thoughts.
Any other comments, statements, questions?
I think school security is very high need,
I'll let you,
especially at a time like this.
Yes.
Mrs. Committee.
Is the shade structures the ones that I requested for the schools? I really think that should be a priority for our students.
Yeah,
our
and
staff.
hopefully we'll get it right.
Yeah, because rain for
Yes,
DTMS, it's, all the kids are there.
yes, ma'am.
RBT is the same way. The sun's beating on them,
Right.
so. I think it's
Yeah,
important.
No, and I think we've already got that, we've got all the estimates on those.
Shade structures,
Mhm.
yeah, we're waiting on one more.
Yeah.
We wanna kind of stay away from the canopy version ones and make it go all metal. So it lasts.
Just so it lasts,
Because the
yeah.
canopies just, they fall apart over time, so.
Evidence Central, the old Central.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with the security part of that and the restoration of our roofs, definitely. And of course, we need vehicles, Dr. Lucas, so
Yeah.
I'd like to move that up also.
Okay,
So if we didn't do the softball field in the auditorium, we could
do
potentially do
all of
all
these.
of them.
yes,
Okay, that would be nice.
yeah.
Any-
Yeah, well, I don't know. I know it's a need for a softball field. As well, I know that for a fact, because I've been to games,
Yes.
I've seen it where it's a hassle to move those gates and have practice and have.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe just the practice field, maybe not cost so much. Not
We can look
$1
into that
million,
too, I mean, yeah,
you know,
because just a practice field, I don't know, we didn't price that.
yeah, just.
And this estimate
I-
included bleachers
Yeah, I'm
and
not arguing
restrooms.
about everybody's. you
Right,
know,
no.
Agreements and stuff, but just looking at that, you know, I know there's a need out there to replace those bathrooms as well. I don't know about the auditorium, like how many times are we gonna use this auditorium?
Well, it would be for like plays, Cinco de Mayo, you know, graduation, It'd be utilized a lot more than you'd think, but it wouldn't be a continuous. Just any kind of student things, they could be best and use the auditorium stage or would have come. But again, we don't, when we first priced that was before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit.
But now price of
Yeah.
lumber and
Yeah, it's
everything's
probably,
so
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have to, we don't have to.
No,
make
it's
motion
just a
on this,
discussion
right?
item, yeah. So what we'll start pursuing is,
Just keep in mind.
Just
what we
doing
talked
everything.
about, then
Yeah.
We can prioritize.
and we'll get a quote for like a practice field and see what that would run for softball. At least, that would make things a little easier anyway. Okay, and then I just wanted to fill you in on, it's grant season, federal grant season. So Title II application's already been submitted. It was $27,000. That normally we use it to pay mentor, the REC come out to mentor our new teachers and teachers that may be struggling. We use it for that and then to cover part salary of an interventionist. We have a CTE application in. Normally it's about $15,000 a year, but this year I don't know what happened, but anyway, they got a lot of extra funding. So we had our original $15,000 filled out and approved. Then they called and said, hey, you're gonna get $50,000 more if you get it done within a week. So we filled it out, got it turned in. And then they came back and said, well, not everybody reapplied. So we got a total of $99,000 just for welding and auto tech.
That's good.
So it'll be for equipment. I mean, it'll be welding
Can't go wrong
equipment.
with that.
And this happened my first or second year also. They did the same thing. We got new plasma cutters and new welders. So we should have hopefully one of the best setups in the state, for our size. Yeah.
Great job on taking advantage of that one.
Yeah,
For those that missed out.
Yeah. I'm in the process now of filling out Title I. Again, that predominantly goes to salaries. Just the nature of who it is. And then the IDAB is our special ed application, and it has not been released yet. It's supposed to be released Friday, but as of now, as of today, it still hasn't been released.
Is there a
So-
timetable on that?
Well, no, normally they put it out and they say you have 2 weeks to get it
Right,
done.
that's okay.
But it should have already been out. I mean, it's late this year. Well, the Title I application has about $280,000 in it, is what that was for. IDAB, I think last year was about 250,000. So that'll be coming up. That's really all I have on that. Y'all have any questions?
Questions, comments?
Thank you for keeping on top of those and
Yeah.
responding to them.
I know there's a grant out there for outdoor stuff that was recently approved, I think federal wise, but I'm trying to get the name right now
Okay,
because we can use this for maybe like the park stuff. I'm gonna check into it.
or the
but,
RBT outdoor classroom.
Yeah, so I know there's a federal grant or something that was
Okay,
presented at our commission meeting that maybe we.
well,
could
I
jump on,
wonder if it
right?
was that ESSER 3, the federal
Maybe it
monies
is.
that we have. But we, because we were running so short on funds, we were using that. We diverted everything to salaries to offset. But our budget is looking pretty strong this year, so we might be able to use some of that.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get the name,
Okay.
maybe we're thinking about the same thing, but I
Okay.
forgot totally the name.
Okay,
And what can you use it for? You said-
Outdoor equipment,
Oh,
because they're
okay.
trying to use that same grant they're trying to build a park in Animas.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying to get federal money for that was out. But, if we could jump on it too.
yeah, just give me the name and I'll.
Yeah, but I just texted them to
Okay.
see what the name was, because I had already back-to-back meetings, I forget
Yeah.
everything.
Any other comments, statements? If not, we'll move along. Number 10, Dr. Lucas.
Right, so we talked about it last time, and said to bring it back this time, and just a discussion, and we can take action, or we don't have to take action, but it's on the drug testing policy. Do we want to keep it, or do we want to remove it? If we want to remove it, then it would require board action. Do we want to keep it, then it doesn't.
Any questions, comments, statements?
The policy is in there as it is. I don't know, do you want to hear from Scott and? who put it
Yes, I
there?
sure would.
Yes.
Scott, what do you think of the drug testing policy? has it done any good? I mean, as far as,
I mean, we've, like I said, we've got, we've been doing it the last 2 years, 3 years now.
Mhm.
And so we, 2 or 3 people have been, exposed from, doing their things off campus. And, and they've gone to the training or the, requirement there at the, facility to kind of get educated. I mean, it sounds good, I guess, on paper, and I don't feel it's been a beneficial system for us. I mean, I don't know if it detours or.
I agree, and then I think some things that, we fight a lot is, it's always, well, Hooper's telling the kids this, or it's something, it's always something, and it's not, because it's all random. Everything's random. It seems like random is always the same kids, just luck of the draw. And I'm with Scott. I think it's been more of a headache than I think it has been beneficial. Especially when I see how much money we're paying for it, I don't think it matches what we're getting out of it, in my opinion. So
Comments from the board, statements?
I think it goes back to like the matrix, the policy and stuff. Just rewriting it and looking into that drug policy. Like, how much do we spend? Like 10,000,
about 10,000
and that's a year or a month?
a year.
A year.
I personally don't think it's feasible. I think, to see that it seems to be it's the same kids that are being pulled in.
Although that truly is random. I mean, it's a
Yes.
computer that generates it by number.
Right, I
but-
understand
but
that, but
yes,
it
no, I
just
know
seems to
it's,
be,
yes, I understand.
and just the money that's going into it isn't giving the results, I don't think that everybody was hoping to see. You would hope that our kids wouldn't partake in that type of activity. But, in actuality.
Well, and that's
is
where
it-
too, like
is
Alyssa,
it keeping them from doing it, or are they finding a way around it?
right, and like Alyssa was saying, with the matrix is not aligned because the student tests positive on a drug test, it's entirely different than if he got caught with drugs at school.
Right.
And so it's an entirely different consequence, it's entirely different, like the kid that tests positive is not punished at
It's not
school.
consistent with.
Right, so it's not,
Yeah, there's no.
Incentive.
And I know the sports are a privilege. Don't get me wrong, it's a
Right.
privilege no matter
Right.
what. But it's just, it comes back, because that's when I play sports, we didn't get drug tested.
yeah,
We didn't, if we were caught, we were caught, and we got our discipline and we were off the team.
right,
Because I think back when I was in school, it was more
It was
punishment
stringent.
right.
than now.
And then like you were saying on the matrices, that all campuses and athletics are doing the matrices, so.
Do we have I'm sure we have an athletic handbook.
we are.
Does
We
it
are
address-
currently actually going through it now, like I
Oh,
started
okay.
redoing, and I did update it maybe 2 years ago, maybe,
Mhm.
don't hold me, it might have been just a year, it hasn't been that long, but I am going through it right now, and I'll be sending it to the boss, and then we'll
Mhm.
obviously share that with all our head coaches and anyone, obviously you guys will have your say. But you can see, and then, I can even send it out and kind of highlight the stuff that we've made changes on too, that's not a big deal. Yeah, but I do have to have those.
Thank you.
I tend to agree with everybody, it's all good points. The money that we spend is just not, like you said, it's not feasible.
I think the idea is,
We're not saying like, well, we're saying drugs are bad, don't do
Right,
it
right,
at
yeah.
all, but, I don't want
In
to
our case, yeah.
We're
get
not
that
saying,
message,
we're not saying we're gonna take it away and yes, it's okay. No,
Yeah.
by no means is that it. We just gotta find a different way of handling the situations without having to go through this avenue of drug testing.
Do we need a motion to?
so if we wanna do away with it, then we need a motion to suspend the drug test, either to remove or suspend it for
For a period of time.
a period of time, like for a year or 2 years, or just take it out completely.
I'll look into entertain a motion for either the removal or suspension of the drug testing. Name do your motion and we'll go with that, whoever's gonna make it.
I'm making motions to remove it. And to have a matrix that meets the needs and of the sports and the school matrices that are comparable. And
Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Ms. Samuels, all in favor?
I
Aye, motion carries. Number 11, executive session pursuant to 10-15-1H8 NMSA 1978 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. Discussion of lease of district property, specifically the approximately 3.7 acre tract that is the former site of the South Side Elementary located at East 9th Street, East Railway Boulevard, Lordsburg, New Mexico 88045. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Mrs. Garrett, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cole. Ms. Samuels,
Aye.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Ms. Cole,
Aye.
myself, aye, motion carries. It is 6:56. It's 7:22. Motion to come into regular session.
I so move to return to regular session.
Motion by Ms. Cole, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Escobedo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. There's no action taken on executive session regarding to the possible lease of the former site, the south side. With all, taken care of, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.